Hi, my name is Sarah and my channel is Knotty Gnome Crafts. Welcome. Whether this is your first time checking out my channel or whether you're coming back, thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, we're going to talk about my August pattern haul. Now, it was really good in the month of August and I did not purchase any fabric. I think it's probably because my birthday was in July and I went ahead and splurged in July and treated myself to some new fabric, so I didn't really feel the need to buy anything in August, but I did buy quite a few patterns and that's what I'm going to share with you now. All of the patterns will be linked in the description box so you can check it out and get more information if you need it. I'm going to start out with something special, which was actually a gift. A lovely viewer named Preeti messaged me on Instagram and said that she had a Built by Wendy pattern in her stash that was in the smaller size band and it didn't fit her, so she offered to send it to me. I thought that this was really sweet and lovely. I actually started out sewing with a lot of Built by Wendy patterns. I have several of her books, and this pattern that Preeti sent to me is actually one that I had in my own stash and that I made. But because this was, I think it was 2007 when I got that pattern, I didn't know a whole lot about fitting or big four patterns in general, and the size that I cut out was too small for me. So eventually I did get rid of that pattern. So I'm so grateful to Preeti for sending me a new copy because I did really like the style. The pattern number is Simplicity 3835, and this particular envelope comes in sizes 4 to 12. It's a pattern for a top or a dress. It has raglan sleeves and it's a peasant style, so it has the elastic gathering at the top and at the sleeves, or the dress version I believe has a band. It's a really nice, easy to wear style. I'm looking forward to tracing this out and making it up eventually. So thank you so much to Preeti. It was so sweet of you to send that to me, and I'm going to link Preeti's Instagram account in the description box below. Next up, I did buy a couple of Butterick patterns, one of which I've already made, so I won't go over that one today. But the other one that I picked up was from their new collection. It's number 6901. It's a wardrobe pattern by Lisette, and it's for pants, shorts, and a vest. And I like the pants and shorts, but I mainly bought this pattern for the vest. I've been wanting to sew a vest for a little while, and I looked over the instruction for this one, and even though it's fully lined and it has welt pockets, it actually seems relatively simple and easy to put together. I'd really like to sew up a vest for fall because I think it would make a really nice layering piece before the weather gets too cold. I stopped by Joann's yesterday morning and they were having a sale on McCall's patterns and Berta, so I did pick up a few of those. From their new collection, I got McCall's 8319. This is a vintage 80s reissue, and I really love this skirt. It actually reminds me quite a lot of a skirt that I used to wear when I was in my 20s. I really like the shape of this because it has a rounded yoke that has gathers going into that yoke, and because it's kind of a flat front against your stomach, I feel like it's a very nice, attractive looking skirt. It has several different options. You can either do gathers underneath the yoke, or there's more of a circle skirt style underneath the yoke, and I like both versions, and I'm really looking forward to making this up, although I don't have any immediate plans to sew it. Next is an older pattern that I've had my eye on for a while. Technically, I probably don't really need this. I have quite a few shirt dress patterns in my stash, but I thought this was a nice basic. It's McCall's 8139. It's a pretty straight style shirt dress, maybe slightly A-line, and it's very fitted, and that's what drew me to it. It just seems like a classic shape that will never go out of style. I think that there are 3 different lengths: above the knee, knee length, and then midi length, and then you can also do different sleeve lengths with short or long. So I think this is just a nice basic shape that could look really different in different fabrics, so I am looking forward to trying it out at some point. The final McCall's pattern that I got is one that I really debated getting right now because it is the end of summer and I'm probably not going to sew this up until next year, but I decided to go ahead and get it because it's basically exactly what I've been looking for. It's McCall's 8192, and the view that I am most interested in sewing is view B that has the longer sleeves, but I'm also interested in the back of view C, which has a wider tie that goes across the back. I saw a ready-to-wear dress that was made out of a black linen, and it's just a really classic basic shape, but it has that interesting detail with the open back, and I really wanted to make up that dress, and I couldn't find a pattern that was similar until I happened upon someone on Instagram who had made this dress, and it just reminded me of that ready-to-wear dress that I really loved, so I went ahead and picked up the pattern, and I'm hoping to get that sewn up next summer. I did buy one new look pattern. This one I had had my eye on earlier in the spring and summer, but because it was more of a fall and winter dress, I held off. But now that we're heading into cooler temperatures, I decided it was time to pick it up. It's new look 6680 and it's a knit dress. So there's two different views to this dress. It has a wrap front and then you have an option to have a wrap in the back also, or you can just have a plain back. It also has a really interesting sleeve detail because there are pleats that bring in the sleeves and it almost looks like cuffs. I think that this would look really lovely in a sweater knit and just be a wonderful work dress. So I would really like to make this one up in the fall, although I'm not sure that I have fabric for it, but I can look through my stash and see if there's something that I can use. The final commercial patterns that I picked up are all from Burda Style. I hardly ever buy Burda patterns, and Burda patterns very rarely go on sale. So although I don't have plans to make any of these immediately, I wanted to go ahead and buy them while they were on sale because I was worried if I wait for the next Burda sale, which is likely to be a long time in the future from now, that I would forget about them. So all of these patterns were on sale for $2.99, which I thought was a really good price. The first one that I got is number 6829. This is another knit dress. I bought this dress pattern because it is very, very similar to a very popular dress that is on the Nordstrom website. It's sort of a wrap dress. It has ruching on the sides and it has a tulip shaped hem. It's just a very flattering dress that looks good on every body type, and I really wanted to make one of my own. So I was really thrilled to find this pattern because it's basically an exact dupe of that dress. And the pattern also has a variation where you can do it sleeveless or you can add long sleeves. This next one is a button-up shirt pattern. It's 6527. This one I am very interested in making view A, which is the sleeveless version. For some reason, it's really difficult to find button-up sleeveless tops. I've looked and it's just really hard to find them for some reason. But I really like to wear that particular style in the summer. So although summer is ending and I probably won't make this until next year, I am really glad to have this in my stash because I do think this has potential to be a real workhorse in my wardrobe because I do really like that style of blouse. Finally, I have a couple of coat patterns. The first is number 6041. This is a pattern for a trench coat. You can do it in a hip length or in a longer midi length. And what I loved about this is that it is a single-breasted trench. Now, I made a classic double-breasted trench a couple of years ago, and I love that coat. But if I'm going to be honest with myself, it's not the best look for me. I tend to look better in single-breasted things because the double-breasted can be a little bit too wide for me. But it's very hard for some reason to find single-breasted trench coats. So I really like the style of this. I think that it's very chic and it looks really ready to wear. It has kind of this squared off collar detail. So I definitely would like to make this, probably not immediately, but I want to do the longer length in a classic color, whether that's a navy or maybe an olive green. I already have my double-breasted trench in the very classic beige color, so I don't want another one of those. But yeah, just some other neutral color would be really versatile in my wardrobe. Or maybe even something a little flashier like a bright red would be nice as well. The last Burda that I got is number 6461. Now this one is another coat pattern, and although I like both coats, the one that I'm most interested in is view B, which is the shorter length with the traditional collar. I like that it looks like a blazer, but it's a little bit heavier, more of a traditional coat style, but it is also in a shorter length. It is fully lined, and I do not have immediate plans to make this, but I do think that it would make a wonderful coat to have in my wardrobe. If you're enjoying this pattern haul, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up because it helps more people find my channel. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's move on to my indie acquisition. The first thing that I bought is the Ready to Sew Jean Paul Coverall. Now this does come with an expansion pack, but I went ahead and just bought the single pattern only, thinking that I would make it up, and then if I decide that I really want it and I want to make multiples, maybe I could go back and buy the expansion later. I bought this pattern for a very specific reason. There's going to be a challenge coming up in the month of October, so you will be hearing more about this particular pattern very soon. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, now would be a wonderful time to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of my videos. My next indie purchase is one that I've already made. It's the Vanessa Posey Wanted Tee in the expansion pack. Now, it seems like it was a couple years back that everyone was making the Wanted Tee, and I really wanted to make it as well, but the pattern is only in French, and at the time I just wasn't really feeling like I wanted to delve into it. But on Instagram, I saw that Vanessa Posey was having a short-term flash sale type of thing. So I went ahead and bought the Wanted Tee and also the expansion pack, which you can use to turn the t-shirt into either a fitted dress or a dress like a skater style with more of a circle skirt. As I said, I've already sewn this up. I've actually sewn 2 versions, and I really like the pattern, so you're going to be hearing more about that from me very soon. My next pattern purchase was from another sale. Helen's Closet was having 25% off her entire shop, and I do have quite a few of her patterns in my wish list, but this time I just bought one. It was the Gilbert top. Now this is another pattern that I debated for a really long time because I already have some similar camp style shirts in my wardrobe, but in the end I decided that it was different enough with different details, and I've just seen so many people make this on Instagram. It has thousands of makes, and I wanted to try it for myself. So I went ahead and bought the Gilbert top because I figured even though the short sleeve version with the tie is a little bit more summery, that I could still make the longer sleeve version without the tie for the fall and winter, and I do really want to try to get that sewn up this year. So the last 2 patterns that I purchased were from Seamwork. Now, I've been spending probably way more time on Instagram than I should lately, and Seamwork just keeps sending me advertisements like all the time in my feed, and one popped up for a 1-month trial where you could pay $1 and like join Seamwork, get your 2 patterns that you can download for the month, and it's only $1. So I thought, why not? I'm gonna give it a try. I haven't made a Seamwork pattern for several years, probably like 2017 or 2018. At the time, I kind of gave up on their patterns because I could not get them to fit me. However, since that time, it's been several years, maybe their drafting has changed a little bit, and I certainly have changed as a sewist. I know a lot more about fitting than I used to. And I do really want to support independent designers. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pay for the $1 a month, try it out, see if I like the patterns or if I can make them work for me. And then maybe later on I can decide if I want to do a full subscription to Seamwork. They do have a lot of really wonderful basic designs, so I'm thinking about it. But for now, I just got the 2 patterns and I already cut one out. I'm gonna make it up today if I can. So the one that I've already cut out is the Seamwork Ellie, which is a knit Henley. I love wearing Henley style tops, but I've never made one. So this pattern has kind of a deep scoop neck with the Henley style button placket. It has longer sleeves and it's very fitted. So I'm eager to see how that's gonna work for me. I hope that it works out really well, because if it does, I could see myself making this pattern over and over again. And then the second pattern that I downloaded, I don't know that I'm gonna get to this year because it's more of a summery type top. But maybe, I don't know, we'll see if I can squeeze it in. And it is the Seamwork Maju. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, but it's another really lovely peasant style blouse. It has a scoop neck that is elasticated, it has elasticated sleeves, and it also has elastic in the waist, and it's also a little bit cropped. I just think that it is an adorable top, and I would love to make it out of a white eyelet fabric that I have in my stash. Again, I'm just not sure that I'm gonna have time to sew it up. I'd probably need to do it really quickly before the weather turns, but maybe. If I don't get to it this year, I'll definitely try it out next year. But those are the 2 patterns that I downloaded from Seamwork. So that was my haul for the month of August. I hope that you really enjoyed this video. In case you missed it, I'm gonna link my Fall Shop My Stash video so you can check out some of the lovely fall and winter fabrics that I have in my stash. And maybe you could do me solid and figure out if maybe some of these patterns might work for some of those fabrics and give me some advice. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.